Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about the American politics and the power of the apex follower. So I'm really fascinated by this particular time in America. It's really incredible. We're 3 months into coronavirus quarantine, and we've had turmoil erupt across the nation, and turmoil is just raging throughout 2-3 dozen cities all across America, right? And the turmoil is within all this turmoil. There is specific groups who want to achieve specific goals, right? And they're protesting and they're saying, we want this, 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 and this. And I'm just really fascinated by how do you achieve your goals in American politics, right? And I really look at what's happening right now, and it's hard for me to see where goals are going to be achieved. And the only reason why is it seems incredibly clear that there are 15 things being asked for, like no less than 15, 20 different specific asks, and people are saying, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then there's discussions literally in the street of, well, I don't want that, I do want this. So there does not seem to be one central point driving for one central goal, right? And if there was, and you could get people on board, then they could be the 51%. And I think if you reached, and honestly, I'm not even sure if you would need 51%. You just need to control the media, right? If you can control the media and have them looking at one central figure, one central leader who's asking for one central thing, I think you could get that one central thing, right? And so that leads me to believe that we now are in the age of the apex follower, okay? Now, what is an apex follower? An apex follower is an absolute pinnacle, top tier, supreme level follower, right? Someone who understands the value of following. Because in America, there's so much confusion around leadership and following, right? And the confusion is on the side of the blues. The reds have no confusion. The reds are blue, Democrat, red, Republican. The blues, there's so much confusion around achievement. And they seem to achieve very, 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 very little, right? We saw massive failures during Trump's first term. The failed impeachment, huge failure, right? Failed to block judges, Supreme Court judges. Look at what the Reds have accomplished during Donald Trump's term. They've gotten, I think it's 2 Supreme Court justices, right? And that's huge. That's going to last for like 30 years, right? They have completely declawed the EPA, and they have massively rolled back climate change annoyances, what the red perceive as climate change, like restrictions on vehicles, and they've been able to absolutely gut the climate change victories that the Obama period had. They've been able to implement a massively beneficial to red tax structure. They're just crushing it. Like they're getting everything they want quietly, very, very quietly. And the blues absolutely control the media. They are constantly heard, but they achieve almost nothing. And one of the things that's what's really interesting to me is when I look at the blue power base and when I look at the blue Democrat voter base, one of the things they do, I would love to say that they're, it's even worse than accomplishing nothing. It's not that they're accomplishing nothing. It's that they are actually very much accomplishing something. They're often accomplishing the Reds' goals without even knowing it. This is so clear. Not only are the blues not able to accomplish anything, they're not even able to recognize when they are accomplishing the Reds' goals. Stunning, right? So I think the way this gets fixed on the blue side is you have to understand, if you're going to get something done in American politics, you have to choose a leader. You have to coalesce around that leader, and then you have to support that leader until one goal is achieved. One, right? And that goal has to be clear, and it has to be important, and it has to have impact, right? So, and I think that's where the apex follower comes in, right? So, now, one, I understand that seems like Americans to be an oxymoron, right? Is what an apex follower, right? Normally you would say apex predator, right? But I think today we're seeing the rise. We're seeing the need for the rise of the apex follower, someone who understands how critically important it is that they use the power of following and encourage others to follow one central leader who has one central goal, and that will not stop asking, driving, presenting that goal until it's accomplished, right? And also, just to be clear, it is my opinion, having witnessed, very closely, I watched Occupy Wall Street very closely, because I was like, these people have a wonderful vision. They have this vision that you don't need central leadership. Everything they fought for evaporated like a shallow pool under a hot noon sun. They accomplished nothing, right? And so the idea that you can accomplish without a central leader is, no, forget it, right? So how does an apex follower function? Okay, so one, an apex follower finds a leader. Okay, now who should that leader be? I think the leader needs 4 aspects. Okay, 4 aspects. They have 3 aspects. 3. Okay, let's knock them out. Let's walk them through. What are the 3 aspects of a top tier leader, right? So they are charisma, intelligence, and nobility. Okay, you need charisma because you have to be fun and winsome. We know this because Bernie was not fun or winsome, and he got crushed. He lost. You can't win in America as a sourpuss. You can't win in America as a curmudgeon. We know that now. Bernie proved it, right? And the reason why I say that is Bernie was a machine, man. Bernie, nobody can say that they worked harder than Bernie. He outworked everybody, right? Nobody could, and actually, he was incredibly intelligent. He was driven. He really didn't make any mistakes. It was who he was at the end of the day that I think America said no to, and that was he was a socialist. America will never accept that, period. I hope the Blues have learned that lesson. We'll see, and this is pretty incredible because it's really clear a lot of times that Blues really don't learn much. It takes so long for them to learn anything, and it's frustrating because the Reds are just decimating them so hard right now, and just accomplishing so much, right? So you need to find somebody who is charismatic, intelligent. They have to be hyper intelligent, right? And the reason why is, again, the media. The media is filled with people who went to Ivy League colleges. They're all super smart, and they understand language like a tool. That language is a tool. So you have to have incredibly clear communications, and you have to be able to spin, right? When there's going to be times, right? You want to limit that as much as possible, but you need to be able to go toe to toe with people who got their language set at Harvard and Yale, right? Because that's where all these media types are coming from, right? So you need to be hyper intelligent, you need to be charismatic, and you need to be noble, right? You have to have a genuine love for people. You have to have a genuine love for Americans, and frankly, that's really not. You don't find that a lot. You find a lot of people who have a genuine love of advancing their own power, and that's not what we need right now, right? And so we see a lot of charismatic, intelligent people who are not noble and have a whole lot of goals that really don't serve the American people. Those are a dime a dozen. You can find them almost anywhere, right? And groups do. Groups find these people, and they coalesce behind them, and then they're shocked when nothing gets done for them, because what's really getting done is the advancement of one single person rather than a community. So you have to have that nobility in there, right? So you have to have that charisma, you have to have that intelligence, you have to have that nobility, and then what an apex follower does is they go out and they start the roll. You know what I mean? They start upping everything that person says, backing them up, defending them online, donating, really just doing everything they can to support that person, and then they recruit other followers. And the apex followers are absolutely critical. And I think we need to understand that people need to transform themselves into apex followers to identify leaders and allow those leaders, the right leaders, to drive toward one central goal. Because if you're not doing this, you are going to accomplish nothing. And the only reason I'm saying this is I'm so shocked at how quickly history is forgotten. I'm here to tell you, we already know what happens when you ask for 20 things and you have 20 leaders. Nothing. It was proven in 2011 by the Occupy Wall Street, and I think right now, with what's going on now, there are some real goals that really need to be created, there's some real goals that need to be really achieved. And that means that one central leader is going to need to say, we're not doing this, we don't stand with these people aren't part of our movement. They're going to have to be unpopular, right? That's another reason why you don't see leaders stepping forward that often, is it's hard. You have to make the hard decisions. People are going to be unhappy if you're a good leader. Some people are going to be unhappy with you, period. No two ways about that, right? It's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of leaders. All that's my opinion. I'm curious what you think. What do you think it takes to really achieve today in American politics? How do we identify good leaders and get them to the point where they can accomplish a single goal? I think it's a really important question, especially right now. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.